Well, there have certainly been questions about the foundations of both. But with regard to Donald Trump, and specifically the many answers that his tax returns could provide, I wonder, where do you sit personally with regard to his decision thus far to not release tax returns?
No one other than those in the media and those on the left are asking where are these tax returns. People across America are asking.
Correct. That's absolutely not true.
73% of Americans are actually asking.
No, they're actually not. I've never had one person ask for tax returns.
Well, let me ask
people
you
across
that.
the country. No one. They want to know where the jobs are. That's what people want to know. They want to know where the jobs are, where law enforcement are.
But ma'am, you're an attorney general. It's all about transparency. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And your job, being transparent with the public. 73% of Americans are asking where are his tax returns. They want to know what foreign governments he's in bed with, what types of...
I can assure you 73% of Americans are not curious about that.
There is polling. There is polling where a vast majority of Americans are
well, now we're at a vast majority.
May I just ask a question? Madam Attorney General,
Bob.
where do you get your evidence? On what do you base the statement that you made, which is absolutely wrong?
Well, with all due respect, Bob, as I've been out not just traveling Arkansas, but also traveling across the country.
So you're just going around and asking people. You have no other evidence in that. Well, a lot of people are asking me, so I guess my evidence is as good as yours if that's the best you can do.
Well, I'm just letting you know that people want to know where the jobs are. That's where they want to know. They want to know where these candidates stand to get them back to work so they can take care of their families. So that way they can send their children to schools and in communities that are safe. They want to know that national defense is strong and that the economy is strong. They want to know, quite frankly, what someone did as a public servant. And that's where the questions arise from Secretary Clinton.
But would you just go back, would you be willing to say here now, you really have no evidence to back up the statement you just made, other than anecdotal, somebody told you you're traveling around.
Right, other than talking to real Americans out there and asking them, what do you care about, what's important to you? That to me is pretty evidence-based, Bob. I don't know where you get your evidence, but that's where I get mine, is talking to real Arkansans and real Americans every day.
But you're an attorney general. When you go into court, does that hold up in court?
Well, yes,
I heard I was about behind the stock barn here, and somebody told me.
I think it probably carries it carries the same amount of weight as, well, we polled X amount of people, and this is what they said, because who are those people? Are they even going to vote?
So you don't believe
73%?
You don't believe any polls?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think it would carry the same amount of weight in a court, Bob.
No, I don't think it would, as a matter of fact. I mean, you've stated no evidence whatsoever to back up.
Yes,
I mean, if that's your opinion,
I've had 50-plus roundtables across Arkansas.
If you'd like to say that's my opinion, I would accept that. But no court accepts opinion, and you know that. You're a lawyer.
Yes, they do. When there were expert opinions, they accept them all the time. I don't know how many courtrooms you've tried cases in, Bob, but I'll match you my record against yours in a courtroom.
Well, I'll tell you something. I used to be a police reporter and a courthouse reporter. I've probably been to a lot of trials. I'm not saying I've been to as many as you have, but I do know that when you go into court, you have to take an oath, and you have to present evidence that meets certain laws, and you know that.
Well, I do, and
Secretary
Clinton also knows that you have to have evidence. And so where is the evidence that she did not violate the law when it comes to her emails
I have made my point.
Her public service?
I've made my point.
Madam Attorney General, I think maybe the greater point here is that there are many questions that the release of his tax returns could answer. Again, which foreign governments his businesses or he himself personally may be doing business with. You mentioned national security. He is a candidate who invited Russian intelligence agencies, and Vladimir Putin specifically, to hack the email of his opponent.
Well, that's incorrect. When you make a statement, you don't say
that. He made such a statement. He made it on television.
Oh. Well, but it wasn't.
Doesn't he have an obligation? Doesn't he have a responsibility if he is running to protect the American people, to serve them?
Absolutely.
Doesn't he have a responsibility to own his own comments?
Well, both of these candidates have a responsibility not only to own their comments, but more importantly to own their own actions.
Of course.
And that's what we see that.
And what has he done to what has he done to provide national security? What kind of details has he provided to say that he's going to be the man who ends ISIS? Just one detail. What is he going to do?
I think by making our national defense stronger, by looking at who is coming into this country.
The Defense Department has more funding than it's ever had in history. How is he going to make it stronger?
Well, I think by looking to see who is coming into this country. He has said very clearly that we should know who is coming into America.
So when a refugee has to go through 5 programs and they have to wait 23 months, that's not enough? When we've had not one refugee commit any sort of terrorist activity on our own land, is that not enough? No Syrian refugees. I mean, that's his plan, is to ban refugees.